So I know for me personally, one of the first places I go to when looking for fragrance reviews is places like FragranceNet and FragranceX. No YouTube videos, no Fragrantica reviews, no forums, no Facebook groups. I go straight to the discounters and read the reviews over there. Said no person ever. I mean, really, maybe I'm just the only one, but when I'm shopping on discounters and I see the reviews section and I see the star ratings, normally I just kind of go right past it. I don't even acknowledge it because a lot of times the reviews on these websites are going to be a bunch of okay, they're never going to be that good. And a lot of the reason why is because people outside of the community will oftentimes stumble across these discounters, which is awesome. Great that you're finding these websites and saving yourself money versus buying retail. That's great. And I'm sure the retailer reviews are going to be even worse. So maybe that'll be a future video. But not to digress further, a lot of times those reviews will be made by people who just don't know what they're talking about. That being said, I did find it kind of interesting to look through and sort fragrances by the best reviews. Basically by the most stars in combination with the number of reviews that they have. And that's what this video is going to be all about. I'm going to be going over the 10 highest reviewed fragrances on FragranceNet, and I'm going to be telling you if I think they're worth the hype, if I think they're worth the all the talk around the town, see if they deserve to be at the top of the list when you sort FragranceNet by the reviews. Now, one thing I have to tell you is I actually did you a favor, and I cut out these right here. So Acqua di Gio, Creed Aventus, Dior Sauvage, all of the extremely obvious ones that no matter what website you go to are always going to be at the top because they've been out for a very long time and they're very popular. Yeah, those are out of the equation. We're going to get into some stuff that's maybe a bit more interesting, although not really because they're still going to be very popular because they're still highly reviewed. But hey, it'll be better than nothing. So let's start this one off with this one here. Exceptional because you are. Oh God, this channel has gone downhill. I'm saying the name of this fragrance in one of my videos. Just cut this off. Scrap the idea. No, I'm not doing it. Yeah, if you go to FragranceNet and you sort it by the number of reviews, when you cut out all of the other stuff, Acqua di Gio, Creed Aventus, all of that, all of the obvious stuff, exceptional because you are is going to be relatively towards the top. And for people who aren't aware, you're probably looking at me like, okay, why is this dude hating on exceptional because you are? Like, what did exceptional do to you? And exceptional hasn't done anything to me other than bombard me with samples every single time I place an order with FragranceNet. Anyone else who has shopped with FragranceNet over the past several years would know about this as well. I'm sure, and obviously it has to be the case, they have a deal with the fragrance brand where they stuff samples inside your box every time you order something. Yeah, it is just annoying. It's kind of like those amazing wine vouchers that you get where you get $100 of wine for free if you order through this website and spend $1,000 or some ridiculous thing. Yeah, it's that type of thing. And for those who are unaware, if you haven't smelled any of the thousands of samples you've probably received when you've ordered from them and get bombarded with all these, is it kind of smells like a cheaper version of Millésime Imperial. Guess what? There are a lot of other fragrances out there that are cheap clones of Millésime Imperial that do it better. So exceptional because you are? No, it is not worth the high review count. Get that crap out of here. Let's move on to the real list. First up, we have Armaf Club de Nuit Intense Man. Now you have to forgive me, I don't actually own a bottle of this anymore, but I am very familiar with the scent, and for those who are unaware, it is a Creed Aventus clone. So while I cut out Creed Aventus, somehow this DNA still managed to work into the video. My apologies. It's extremely highly rated, and the reason why is pretty simple. Creed Aventus on discounters, still $300+. Club de Nuit Intense Man on discounters, I don't know, what is it floating around? Anywhere from $30 to $40, depending on the bottle size and the current sale they're running. Basically, it is just a much more affordable alternative to Aventus. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it is the highest quality Aventus clone, because it's not. Do I think it's worth the rating that it has? I would say at the end of the day, as much as there are cult followings for Aventus and anything else sucks, I would say, yeah, it's probably well-deserved. The fact that the person who doesn't want to spend $300 or $400 on Aventus can get something that smells similar, I can't bash it too much for that. However, if I were to give you one piece of advice, I would say to save an extra $20 and get Montblanc Explorer. I think all around that is the better alternative, and I would say that's the one that I would go to, and I prefer it, and it is my favorite Aventus alternative on the designer / affordable side of things. I would go for that one instead, but to each their own. Next up, Creed, Green Irish Tweed. So this would be the second Creed. It's kind of ranked here, obviously Aventus being the first. It's cool that niche brands, extremely expensive fragrances, are being ranked in this list because their reviews are so many, and it's just kind of crazy to see. You wouldn't think that many people are spending this kind of honestly ridiculous amount of money on cologne, but apparently they are. Very highly rated, and this one here I can back up 100%, and I think it's worth it. To be fair, I think the Aventus ratings are worth it as well. It's a great scent, although very much overdone. Still a great one regardless. Green Irish Tweed is also up there. I mean, this is timeless, man. This is classic. Came out in 1985, and it doesn't smell like it came out in 1985 like most other things would. This DNA is something that will never go out of style. It will never not work. It will always be a good compliment puller. At least for me, it does really well. Some claim that it just doesn't work, but I think it really works well for me, or I know it does. I think it works well for a lot of other people as well. It's a good performer. It's extremely versatile. It's got great quality. Sure, it's expensive, but at the end of the day, that's just kind of what a niche fragrance is all about. You got to be accepting of that, or you have to just decide you don't want to spend that money and just go for something different. You've got many other things out there on the market that you can go for that could get you closer to this one. But at the end of the day, it's hard to knock the original. This stuff here is innovative, and I think it's worth the rating. You know, those professional ratings on FragranceNet. Yeah, the critics, they did great on this one. I'm having too much fun with this already. Next up, Burberry Touch.
I'm having trouble connecting.
Accidentally set off the Alexa in the bathroom next door. Anyway, back to it. So this one, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong on this, so feel free to correct me below, but I think came out in 1999. So this is not the new kid on the block. This one's been out. So obviously it's going to have a good amount of reviews because it's been online and available for longer. But it is still, to this day, a really solid scent in my opinion. It's a violet leaf based scent. So it's cooling, fresh, kind of ozonic, clean, and quite a bit unique. It doesn't smell like your Nautica Blue or body spray or shower gel. It has its own thing going for it. Coupled with the fact that it's very affordable, again on discounters, I believe it's a $20 to $30 scent, somewhere floating around that range, and it's kind of always been that way. Burberry fragrances are usually pretty affordable. I think it's a great scent for the price. Again, even still, it's a solid pickup. It's great for spring, it's great for early summer, and if you really enjoy it, it can be your signature scent. Do I think it's worth the high ratings that it has on discounters? Absolutely. You know, it's a really solid one all around, and I can't hate on it. It's enjoyable stuff. Let's keep it moving. Up next, Versace Dylan Blue. So this one to me is really cool because this here is ranking high up in this list, and it came out in 2016. So let that sink in. That Burberry that we just talked about came out in 1999, and yes, it's higher up than this one, but not by a significant margin. This one came out in 2016, so 5 years ago, and it's probably going to surpass the Burberry and surpass a lot of the other ones that we've talked about already, and it's still higher than some of the other ones that we're going to cover that came out before this one. So do you get what I'm saying here? It hasn't been out all that long when you factor in everything, and it's shot up, and it's really, really done well in terms of the amount of reviews, the quality of reviews, in terms of having a high rating, and just everything about it. I mean, this scent here is a star. It's also worth noting that it's higher up than Versace Homme, which came out in 2008. Again, this stuff is kicking ass. Do I think it deserves the spot that it has? Absolutely. Hate on it or not, love it or hate it, blue fragrances are boring, they suck, they're unoriginal, whatever. Blue fragrances just work, and while you may get tired of hearing about them all the time, this thing here is going to be smelled by 99% of guys out there, and they're just going to love it. And when they start pulling compliments from it, they're going to be over the moon, and those reviews are going to be coming in pretty quick. Yeah, this is a great compliment getter. It's also insanely versatile. This stuff can be worn for anything. It's a great signature scent. It's also very affordable. Most Versace's are, in fact, basically all of them, unless it's discontinued or something, they are really conquering the mid-range designer price. I would say Versace and Dolce & Gabbana The One, depending on what you get, are really good at this mid-range price, which is about $50. You can get it for a little bit less if you go for a smaller bottle or a tester. Sometimes even the 100 ml full pres is a little bit less than $50 depending on the discounter, the discount codes, that sort of thing. For that price, you cannot go wrong with this one. I mean, $40 to $50 is not a whole lot of money for the average guy who wants to smell good. You buy this and you're going to be set up. Don't think twice about it. This is definitely worth the rating, in my opinion. Next up, kind of ironic, I didn't even mean for that to happen, Dolce & Gabbana The One, Eau de Toilette, another king of mid-range pricing. And yes, the Eau de Toilette is higher than the Eau de Parfum because of the simple fact that it did come out first. Is this one worth the star rating? In my opinion, technically yes, because a lot of those ratings did come from when this came out and there was no Eau de Parfum, and this scent DNA is 1000% original and unique and a masterpiece. I don't say it that often, but in this situation it needs to be said. Dolce & Gabbana The One is a modern masterpiece and it is definitely worth the rating. However, now I would not recommend you bother with the Eau de Toilette and instead go with the Eau de Parfum. Even that one has its fair share of pushback because even it still doesn't perform that good. But when you look at it in terms of a date night fragrance, and that's the only situation, you don't need 5 hours of longevity and super strong projection. If you can get it to last through a dinner and then some time after, you're going to be set up. And if you go back to your house, spray it on again while you're in the bathroom. I mean, it's just that simple. Don't worry about it too much. Although, if you want to wear it to the office, it may be an issue. I use it as a date night scent, and you don't need that strong a performance. But at the end of the day, the fragrance itself, the smell, the DNA is a masterpiece, and this whole DNA in general deserves the rating. Next up, we have another more affordable scent, Montblanc Individuel. This is another one where, you gotta forgive me, but I don't have my bottle anymore. Don't know what happened to it. I think I gave it away / swapped it out / lost it. I really don't know. I don't have it though. But I do have what it smells similar to, and the fact that this Mont Blanc came out before it, and that is Creed Original Santal. So yeah, you heard it right. In this instance, it appears that Creed copied Mont Blanc. And what's interesting is now Mont Blanc came out with Explorer, granted, what was it, 10 years, 8 years after Aventus, so it's kind of like they were getting back at Creed for just blatantly ripping them off. Now, I gotta call it like it is, the Mont Blanc is not nearly as good as the quality of Original Santal, which are both sandalwood-based fragrances, but it does do a really good job given the price. It's a raspberry, lavender, clean linens type of scent with that sandalwood. It does smell very pleasant. A bit on the synthetic side, but really does work well. Do I think it's worth the star rating? For originality purposes, absolutely. It did come out first after all. You gotta hand it to them. If you have a big niche brand copying you, you must have done something right. In terms of quality, it is a cheaper scent, but I think Mont Blanc has created better scents in terms of quality at around the same price. So in that regards, I would bump it down a couple, but at the end of the day, sure, I'll give it that. It's worth it. It worked hard for that spot, so I'll let it happen. Let's keep it rolling. Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme, just the OG. So yeah, it's Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme. And then they took this same bottle and then created a whole crap ton of light blue fragrances. Same exact bottle and cap, just different colorations. Woohoo. Again, mid-range price tier here, and they do a great job at it. Aromatic Fougere, older style scent. This bottle happens to be, the older style bottle, blah, blah, blah type of formulation. Yeah, that's what it is. Blah, blah, blah formulation. I don't remember for sure. I just know that I paid a little bit more for this to get an older version with this type of sticker versus the new style bottles. But the premise is the same. Do I think this is worth the star rating? I would say yes, because it's a classic gentleman scent. Anymore, most guys out there are going to smell this and not like it. They're going to think it is old. They're not going to be wearing it. But I think that at the time that this did come out, it was something that was original and still is original, just not really trendy anymore. And I think it deserves the spot that it's at. Sure, it's not getting loved on anymore. Sure, there are generally better fragrances out there, but I think it's a classic, and I think it deserves kind of the following that it has. So yeah, I would say it's worth the rating that it has. Just be aware, you may not want to go out and rush out and buy this thinking you're going to get a compliment beast Dolce & Gabbana. That's not going to happen. We're running down to the end of this one. Versace The Dreamer. Another Versace scent, another king of the mid-range pricing scent. Nice lavender, tobacco, fresh, clean, inoffensive, ultra wearable scent. This smells great. It's powdery, it's clean, it's fresh, it's masculine, it's got a sexiness about it. It just works hard like nobody's business. I mean, this could be your signature scent. This could work for anything. And again, when you take a look at the price of this on discounters, what else can you get within this price that does it like this one? There are other things out there for sure, but there's something about the Dreamer that is just classic. Do I think it's worth the rating that it has? Absolutely. I think it's done well for itself, and I think it still deserves recognition, even though there's stuff like, you know, Dylan Blue and Versace Eau Fresh and Versace Pour Homme and all of the other Versaces that are more popular than this one. This one still deserves some love. Still needs a little back rub every now and then. Don't forget to break out your bottle of the Dreamer every now and then and just give it some attention. And last up for this video, Givenchy Pi. This is the masterpiece vanilla, benzoin, powdery, sexy designer scent created by the master himself, Alberto Marias. This one and Pi Air are fantastic. I love that powdery smell. I love that vanilla, that dusty benzoin. This really kind of seemed to bring some popularity to vanilla scents for men, essentially, is kind of how I look at it, because it didn't seem like before this a whole lot was really coming out and selling as much as this one did. Marketing has something to do with it. It's just a really sweet looking bottle. The fact that it is from a pretty reputable designer brand, that helps too. There was a lot on its favor with this one, of course, including the beautiful scent. And this one was basically set up for success, in my opinion, and it definitely achieved that. And do I think it is deserving of the rating and of the success that it has had? Absolutely. Still to this day, one that I personally enjoy. It's a great one for cooler weather, spring, fall, winter. It just smells super pleasant. It's powdery, like I mentioned, and it may not be for everyone, even though that's kind of the trend now. People still aren't fully down for it, but for me it works, and for a lot of people it works. It's a great compliment getter and very high quality as well. So guys, that was going to do it for me. That was 10 of the highest rated designer fragrances on discounters. Again, based off of the ratings that are on these discounters, and if I think they're worth it. Let me know down below, what do you think of these fragrances? Do you think they're worth the position that they're at? Do you ever look at the reviews on FragranceNet and FragranceX? Just let me know. And I also want to thank my channel members. You guys rock. If you guys want to see early access to videos like this one, see it a day or so in advance, get access to bonus videos, bonus reviews, top 10s, that sort of thing. And also, if you really want to go all out and you want to chat with me one-on-one and have personal conversations with me, that's the place you want to go. Channel memberships, check it out. We're having a lot of fun over there, and I want to get some more of you guys on board so we can all hang out. There's a lot of you, okay? And I'm very blessed for that. A lot of people comment on my videos and watch them, and again, I love it and I appreciate you guys supporting me every day, but it's overwhelming, right? It can be hard to get back to all of you in the comments and to help all of you out. I get questions all the time and I love helping, but it's hard. There's 1,000 videos, legitimately. I've done over 1,000 videos on my channel, comments every day from all of them coming in. I can't help everyone. So if you want personalized advice, conversations with me, check out the memberships and I'll get you hooked up. And one last thing, if you want to check out any of these fragrances and you want to read the reviews for yourself, they will be linked down below to discounters, to Fragrance Net, Fragrance X, where you can check them out. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.